Now, first of all, I want to give you a little tip. This kind of wood does take very well to markers. And if you are a better colorer than you are a painter, you may prefer to decorate the sailboats with markers. Now, what I'm going to show you is a little trick. When you just take the item like it is and color it with a marker, you get what I call little bleed lines coming over because of the wood grain. So a trick that I like to do is to take my ruler and just line off the areas that you're going to color in with the marker, separating the colors by just a quick little score line. And you'll see that that will separate your colors for you and prevent the bleed line when you're using markers. So I just put my ruler where I want my separation in colors to be, and I'll just come straight down. I'm basically just creating a little indentation in the wood, like I said, that prevent the bleed over from the markers. So I figure we'll do a brown post here. So let's carry this on up on this side. Just a little bit of an indentation there with your craft knife. Now, as you see, there's just a small indentation in the wood. So therefore, when we color in the items that we want to with the markers, like I said, there'll be no bleed. So let's come down here. We would carry the brown just about up to where the sail would start. So we're going to create our, I guess we could call that a bleed line or a non-bleed line. I'll do that on both sides. Now, if you try this technique, I think you'll be kind of surprised and amazed at exactly how easy it is to color with markers rather than paint. Now, I will say with markers, you do not get the variation in colors like you can with paint, but this is just one technique, and maybe you'll want to try this out. So let me show you how this works. We've made our bleed lines, and we're just going to come back through and color in with our marker, staying on the side of the bleed line there so you don't, carry over into the other color. Then just color in. This is kind of a wood tone, I guess, maybe for the hull of the sailboat. Frankly, this is a little bit less messy than paint, too. Oh, as crafters, we have lots of paint, we have lots of markers, so it's kind of nice to have something that we can use our markers for other than scrapbooking or paperwork. Okay, there we go. Now, this is where the bleed line is going to really show through. I'm going to show you as we come up the hull, or the sail pole in this sailboat. We're just going to come right up next to that mark line that we made. And as you can see, it's not bleeding over into the other colors that we want to use. It's a pretty good technique here. So there we go. And already we have that. And great thing about markers, you don't have to wait for it to dry as opposed to paint. So I think I'm going to take this score line over this way. I feel like that could be a little flag at the top of this sailboat. So I think that's what we're going to go for. So we'll just mark it this way. And then just come right back up to that line with our marker. And there we go. Now, I think we'll continue with this marker theme. Let's go for maybe a red flag. I think I've seen that on sailboats before. We'll go up here with our marker. Being careful not to go too far in over that bleed line. cute so far. Now we're going to do the sails. I've seen some sails that are striped. You could come in at this point and just paint your sails with the white color. That would be cute. A different medium on your sailboat. Or you could create stripes, which I think is what I'm going to do. So, once again, to prevent the bleed, we need to come in with our craft knife and create our non-bleed lines. Let's call them that. I really don't know what you would call them. And of course, you could be perfect and measure this all out, but I feel like a blowing sailboat, let's see, what do you call that? A sail, a blowing sail wouldn't be perfect anyway. So we're gonna just come down through here as we mark off our non-bleed lines. I kind of like that. Just continue on. Doesn't have to be a deep score line, just enough to prevent the markers from flowing into the other colors by following the little wood fibers. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So now what we're going to do is come in and catch every other line with our blue marker. I like to start right at the edge of that score line. There we go. And just color that in. A thicker marker might have been best there. And I don't know if you're like me, but I feel like when I can color something in, my lines are a little straighter, it looks a little neater, as opposed to trying to get a perfect, a perfect line with a paintbrush. So I tend to like to cheat a little bit and use markers. And we've got that first one, and we can always come back and hit that with a thicker marker. Let's just get those outlined areas. Okay, so there we have it. I don't know about you, but I cannot paint with straight lines like I can color with markers. So that's the way this one sail turned out. I think we're just going to color the other sail a solid blue. And there we have it. One sailboat, not painted, but used markers. So if you're afraid of paint, give this one a try.